Hello, and just back again for a quick reaction video for the World Cup final, which happened last night. It's this morning, Monday morning, and yeah, well, Spain won, as I think most reasonable people thought that they would. But of course, football being football, they made an awful lot of hard work out of it. They were the better side, right? I mean, their XG, I've seen XG figures ranging from 1.94 to 2 point something. Argentina was 0.22, according to the BBC stats, whoever they're using right now. 20 shots to Spain, 2 to Argentina, 12 shots on target, none to Argentina. And that's got to be a first, right? Going through a whole World Cup and extra time and not even getting a shot on target, and you've got Lionel Messi on your side. I mean, yeah, I would suggest that's pretty dominant. I mean, you look at the possession stats, and it just looks like if you look at the possession graph, it just looks like a wave of red and a little bit of blue towards the end. Consolation for England fans, I guess, is that even Spain, after they took the lead, sat back and allowed Messi the chance to do something. But when you look at the way that Messi was playing on the wings, where he was the most effective in that game and indeed in the last game, it was out on the wings. And it just tells you just how much Argentina miss Angel Di Maria, isn't it? But there you go. So they lose. Well, Spain, I mean, they were clearly the better side. They were clearly the best team in the tournament, in my opinion. Only Belgium were able to score against them. Um, they're not the most entertaining team to watch. That would be France, I think, who would take that. But France, when you've got Rabiot and Upamecano in your side, I don't think you can make a claim to be the best team in the world. Spain just seem to have pretty much all the answers. And I think in players like Lamine Yamal, he was a 80s pop star, wasn't he? Lamine Yamal, they have mega stars in the waiting, so they're only going to get better. And Nico Williams coming on, really, really making a difference in that game in more ways than one. They were terrific. I think if you're looking for entertainment and fun, yeah, you're not going to necessarily get that with Spain. But that is Spain. That's how they are. That's how they play, and it's effective and it works. And football is one of those sports that the closer you get to glory, the tighter it gets and the harder it gets to watch as a neutral. It's becomes less entertaining. You can get the contrast from the day before, England and France playing out a ridiculous rugby score, really, um, in a match of little consequence that was just a kickabout between a bunch of extremely high level athletes. And yeah, super entertaining to watch and great fun. And if that's your idea of football, then terrific. But on the other side of the coin, you know, football is one of those sports where, like a lot of team sports, unless you oblige them to score points and score goals, that's just not how it works. So it was always going to be really, really tight, despite being incredibly one-sided. And that's Spain. That's how it is. Um, and speaking of how it is, Argentina. I mean, when it goes well for them, it's all, smiles and celebrations and basking in the glory of Messi. And when it goes badly for them, well, it's just a bunch of man babies who can't take it when they lose. And it's just one or the other with them, and that's just how they are. Um, you're entitled, and people are entitled to get angry with Argentina in the way they play. But if you're an Argentinian, this is how they do it. This is how they play. And as I said, when they play well, it works. It works great. But when they play badly, yeah, it's just really, really difficult to watch. And you can understand people getting upset with them. I try to avoid getting all high and mighty about the way that Argentina play, um, uh, but because that is how they do it. They look for every conceivable advantage. They look for every marginal gain, as we would call it in Northern Europe. And yeah, I mean, if you don't like it, that's terrific, and I don't like it either. But I think it's kind of, I don't think you can change them because they win so many matches based on that. They have tremendous resilience and staying power. But I think when they lost Fernandez, and yes, that was satisfying to watch, by the way, watching Fernandez getting sent off. They were effectively defending with 9 men because Messi, I mean, they showed a tactical view of the Spain goal, and Messi was almost on the halfway line. That's fine. He's not expected to play in a defensive lineup. They would have drilled without him. But when you're playing a team like Spain deep into extra time, it's gonna count in the legs, isn't it? And eventually, they relented and lost the game, even though actually there was a chance that the death wasn't there to equalise and maybe win the game on penalties. These are the margins. So anyway, that was the World Cup. That was a World Cup final, a proper football match, you want my opinion. And I am pumped for the start of the new season. A short break, I think, of no football, although I'm sure I'll probably find some Champions League qualifiers to track down. And we move on, and it all moves on. There's stuff to talk about with the World Cup, the off-field stuff, and I might well do a video about that a little bit later in a few days' time. But until then, I will finish things here because I'm about to go on holiday, and see you in the next video. Cheery bye.